Welcome to another episode of Transform Perspective with Kyrah. If you haven't noticed, I'm drinking green juice this episode, okay? Yes, it's pretty good. It's something new that I'm doing. Not only just me, my family as well, is drinking vegetable and fruit juice. And it tastes pretty good. It contains like celery, ginger, lemon, a few other fruits. But a great way to cleanse your gut and just, prioritize your health. Especially if you typically drink a lot of sugar, eat a lot of sugar. This is all natural. No sugars added, just juiced at home. So definitely go drink you some fruit or vegetable juice, even if you have a juicer or not, or, at a store or something. But yeah, I'm trying to finish this before the end of this episode. So we'll see what happens with all this talking I'm going to do. But also, if you haven't noticed, it's a new setup here, new background. As you can tell by the Frank Ocean poster and the Lana Del Rey, which is kind of cut off. Yeah, not my room, but we're working with it. I hope your day is going well. And I am excited to get into this episode, which is the art of setting healthy boundaries. That's what we're talking about today. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to YouTube, follow on TikTok as well as Spotify, and just stay tuned because, there's so much to come from Transform Perspective, this video podcast and the other content I post, as well as my new Etsy shop that's open named Relevance. I have a new journal called Guided Mind, which is a 3-part self-reflection guided journal that is out now and you can purchase it. I encourage you to purchase it, especially if you want to, prioritize yourself, your well-being, and really reflect and learn about who you are and heal. It's a great journal for that. So definitely check it out. The store will be in the description below. And stay tuned for more info about it and about Transform Perspective. So yeah. Oh, and like this video. Let's get into it. The art of setting healthy boundaries. Now, as you may know, we have all had our ups and downs with setting healthy boundaries, no matter what it's been in your life. And from those experiences, I'm sure all of us have learned that it is important to set healthy boundaries because you want to, protect yourself. You want to be healthy. You want to be happy. You want to be loved. You want to do what's best for you and prioritize yourself. And sometimes you can lose sight of that. And so really stressing the importance of not only setting external healthy boundaries, but also internal healthy boundaries, especially since season 2 is all about the internal, your mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. We're looking at everything that's going on inside, the stuff that we can't necessarily see with our eyes, but is all up in here and affects us just the same as what we can see in our day-to-day lives and so on and so forth. And so really being able to self-reflect, journal in the description, self-reflect and ask yourself, have I been setting healthy boundaries, or do I even have healthy boundaries? I feel like we say all these words and different things, but it's just am I really doing this? Is this something that is really in my life, something that I'm doing for myself? If not, being able to create those healthy boundaries. And if you do, being able to stick with it and not compromise it for anyone or anything. It's not always with people. Healthy boundaries can just be with yourself and learning to just have some self-respect and know your worth and know that, your health is key. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, so on and so forth. And that starts with your boundaries and being able to stand 10 toes down in that. Especially with those external boundaries. I wanted to start there and how, if you have certain patterns and different things from just like trauma and experiences and stuff you just pick up as a kid and you grow older. For example, like people pleasing. Typically when people are people pleasing, you're doing something to make somebody else happy. And so when you're doing that, you are compromising your boundaries if you have any. Because, we have to learn to have these boundaries from our experiences when we didn't have any. And so once you create those boundaries, they can be compromised when you're trying to make somebody happy or do what other people want you to do or so on and so forth. And so being able to recognize that within yourself, or when you do become aware of it, pause for a moment and say, is this in my highest? Is this healthiest for me? Does this feel good? Is this best for me? Am I doing this for other people or for external validation or for some material things? Or am I doing this because this is what's best for me? Being able to sit back and just ask yourself those questions and reflect on that is huge. And I think that's truly how you build these healthy boundaries. I don't think you come out the womb knowing what healthy boundaries are. It's something that you build, you create, and you learn for yourself as you get to know yourself. But if you don't pause for a second and look at these things within yourself or reflect on your past experiences, then you'll never create boundaries, let alone healthy ones. Setting aside time to be with yourself, reflect on these things, I feel like it's the first step in creating healthy boundaries and sticking with them. It's first, assessing yourself and spending time with you. You can also learn from other people in your life. And through different outlets and people's experiences. But I feel like the best way is through your own experience. But other people's advice is great. And that can be very helpful. It's learning from other people, because sometimes we just need that reminder. We know deep down what is best for us. And sometimes it's just good to hear from other people. So yeah, doing that externally. So that way people aren't taking advantage of you, or you aren't giving them, power that doesn't belong to them, or, for example, like, if you were invited somewhere, it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody disrespecting you or you putting yourself in these situations to be disrespected. It could be something as small as like you've been invited to go somewhere and, maybe that's not your thing. You don't want to do it. You don't have to put yourself in that space to do that because you have these healthy boundaries and you're like, okay, well, no, I'm going to do something else, or I'm going to stay here because that's just not my thing to do. Not just going with it because you have FOMO and you feel like you're going to miss out, or to please somebody else. If you're being put in an environment or a situation that you don't like, you could say, hey, I'm going to skip this time, or I'm going to do something else, but thank you. Also, not compromising yourself in a way where it's like, if someone's disrespecting you or talking to you some type of way, being able to stand up for yourself and say, hey, or ignore it, walk away and not entertain it. So it's just being able to know the difference in that. And sometimes it can be very uncomfortable when you are setting healthy boundaries, especially when it involves other people or things and, things in your life and in your day-to-day life. But it's going to be what is best for your well-being. And sometimes that's uncomfortable to prioritize yourself and your well-being, especially when a lot of times we grow up in a society where we're doing things for other people or based off of what we're taught. So learning that, I think, is truly key. And prioritizing those external boundaries as well. Now, as far as internal, I noticed that can be forgotten about too. We may focus so much on boundaries when it comes to other people, when it comes to other things outside of ourselves, and may totally forget that setting healthy boundaries within ourselves is huge, and it does start there. If you know yourself so well and you have these healthy boundaries within yourself, they will never be compromised outside of you in regards to other people, things, and situations, because you know yourself so well and you're standing 10 toes down in the boundaries that you set within yourself. Because we can also trip up and have these patterns that just have to do with us, knowing the difference between when you need to take action and get some things done, do some work, or, whatever the case may be, versus resting. Sometimes we won't have those healthy boundaries within ourselves. For example, you'll stay on your computer all night, overworking yourself and not give yourself a break. That's not having healthy boundaries because that's not good for you physically. Mentally, you're not prioritizing yourself. You're putting too much effort, too much energy into something that could be great, but you don't want to overdo it. And so learning to find that balance and find what is healthy. If it is weighing on your mental health, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, if it's weighing on you, if it's, a lot of negative things going on, could be some patterns there that you probably want to look at, and reassess. So then you can add some more balance in your life and do something that is better for you, because it all adds up and can be detrimental for you and other people. And so being willing to hold yourself accountable and look at these things within yourself. And I think starting with your day-to-day life helps. What are your daily routines? What do you often do? If you're constantly, for example, I know for myself, for many of us, the phone, getting distracted on our phone, can be something that seems normal for a lot of people, but can be detrimental and very unhealthy. It's okay to be on social media. It's okay to scroll. It's okay to watch TV, and, but setting a healthy boundary be, okay, well, I'm going to limit my time on this because I know that I need to get some fresh air, or I need to spend time with my family or friends, or I need to just have some me time and relax, rather than being so, absorbed in so much information and content that's coming in, always watching something, always having to do something. Setting a healthy boundary, for example, would be being still, relaxing, putting the phone down, setting a boundary with yourself. So if you can do that within yourself and say, hey, I'm going to stop doing this because it no longer serves me. Or, I'm addicted to this. I recognize it and I want to accept it for what it is, but choose something healthier, choose something different. Even though it may be uncomfortable, being able to hold yourself accountable and say those things, reflect on it, point it out, and then take steps to choose something healthier. Now, sometimes you may not know that right off the bat because you may just not have that knowledge that it's better for you. Sometimes deep down we do, but it's uncomfortable, so we don't choose it. But after a while, it's like, okay, I'm going to go with this, I'm going to go in this other direction and choose this other thing because that's not working. So you also don't want to be hard on yourself when it comes to learning to set healthy boundaries, either with other people in different situations or even with yourself, because it's a learning experience. It really is. And you live and you learn, but you don't want to ignore it either. So, like I said, being able to find that balance, because if you don't give it a try and just be aware of these things and try to create some type of boundary for yourself, because that's what you deserve within yourself and in your life, it will be chaotic, and it's kind of like you'll just be forced to do so anyways, because it's not good for your mental well-being. It's not good for you physically, financially, and things will start showing up in that way to kind of show you like, hey, something needs to change, or maybe choose this or do things another way, just because I feel like you're always being guided to do what is best and what is highest for you, and what is healthiest for you. And you can either say yes to that or ignore it and try to keep doing what you're doing and say no. But it's like you're constantly running up against a wall. And so eventually you will choose that yes, but it's for the best for you, And sometimes it can be very uncomfortable to set healthy boundaries, either within yourself, especially when you have habits and addictions and things, or having to do with the external world, things outside of yourself or with other people. It's not always comfortable, but it's a practice. It's a learning experience, and you learn from your lessons. So you're able to do what's best for you, because you want to, live a fulfilling life where you are healthy, where you are, you're not going to always be happy, but where you can feel safe and just live your best life, whatever that looks like for you. And so, yeah, setting healthy boundaries is truly important. And we do have our moments where, we don't honor those boundaries. But I think that's all a part of you learning what a healthy boundary is for you, because it looks different for the next person and the next person and the next person. But as you begin to experience your day-to-day life and allow yourself to just truly live and discover who you are and reflect on these things, it'll become clearer. That's what I'm learning. It becomes clear. It's nothing that you have to force and put together, because it's like if you're trying to be perfect with it, then it's just like you don't allow yourself to grow. If you're always trying to reach perfection, there's going to be times where you didn't honor your healthy boundaries, or you didn't have any, or, you let people treat you any kind of way, or you treated yourself any kind of way. But then once you become aware of it and you learn from it, you can do differently. So yeah. And especially when it comes to external boundaries, I do want to say that, don't allow other people to treat you any way that you wouldn't treat yourself. And then vice versa for your internal healthy boundaries. Don't treat yourself any way that you wouldn't want someone outside of you to treat you. I don't know if that's confusing, but it kind of ties into the golden rule, which I love and I speak on all the time, is, treat others how you want to be treated, but also treat yourself how you want other people, but also treat yourself how you will want other people to treat you. So it goes together, and that's where the balance comes in. Within, without, same thing. So definitely prioritize that. And if you find yourself losing sight of it, pause for a moment, write, journal, get some fresh air, and just take out time to be with you, to learn about you. Because then you learn what is best for you, because you spend time with you and you treat yourself how you would want someone else to treat you. and you treat them how you will want to be treated, because it works together. If you're not taking out time to just be with yourself and prioritize you and self-reflect and be still, you won't know that. You'll just keep going and trying the same things. And then those things may not work and you may not know why. Maybe you need to, sit back, reassess, and then try again. And so I'm learning that while I'm talking, learning to practice what I preach. But I just wanted to talk about that because it can definitely go untalked about and unnoticed, but it's big. It's big. And you are worthy of being respected, of being loved, of being healthy, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, being healthy, living a healthy life and living your best life, whatever that looks like. So that's all I really have for this episode. But if there's anything that you want to share in the comments in regards to setting boundaries, any tips, advice, any personal experience you want to share, definitely feel free to do so. But yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube as well as follow on Spotify and TikTok, and check out my Etsy shop in the description below so you can purchase the journal Guided Mind. If you have any questions about that, definitely feel free to email me as well or just leave a comment. But yeah, definitely get you a journal because Guided Mind will help with just this. Everything that we've talked about today and any of the other episodes, if you want to prioritize yourself, your mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being, it starts within. And writing is a great way to do that. You can start small, you can go big. This journal allows you that flexibility to learn and discover what is best for you and learn and discover who you are in the process. So definitely check out Guided Mind. Check it out in my Etsy shop. Like, subscribe, share, comments, all the above. And remember, it is not about perfection, but committing to expansion. Okay. Also, there's a new freebie. All you have to do is sign up for the free meditation, and I'll send that to you as well. I didn't want to leave that out. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm going to go chug this green juice, but have a transformed perspective.